is going on, everyone? And we are headed to Blairsville, PA this morning, this fine morning. I was gonna record just a couple minutes ago, but somebody was doing the whole, I can't be bothered to drive thing. I just have so much other stuff going on, my phone, music, whatever it is that's going on. And we just, we couldn't focus, at the task at hand. We're going to put other people's lives in danger because, everything else in the car is way more important than what's in front of you. Anyway, I was losing my mind for a moment. We are headed to Blairsville, PA, quarter point race, UAS race. It's been a hot minute since I've been behind the wheel of the Scythe, the Bama 270cc powered Phantom Racing chassis Scythe. Last time I was out on it, didn't go so well. It's okay. It was a very rough track, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a little bit older. I don't like those bumps as much as I once did. But we are jumping. We're headed towards Jamestown now. On what is this? 86 West. Ooh, very nice. But yeah, we'll see you at the track. Never a good sign when it's pouring on your way to the races, is it? I gotta get over it. Alrighty then. We are still on our way. I believe we are next to, real close to getting into PA here. I've been on the road for at least a little bit and fueled up before we get to PA, because gas in Pennsylvania used to be always cheaper than in New York, and now not the case. It would have been, it's all a moot point, because I stopped at the reservation, the Seneca reservation, and got gas, which was $2.75 a gallon. For New York is chef's kiss. So all right, back at it. Blairsville Speedway. Those of you who have never been to Blairsville, take a peek at the track. Got scales down there. He's loading in. This is Blairsville. Super nice facility. Super nice, smooth track. Oh, there's the guys for champion. Look at them guys. Woo.
Yeah, easy money.
That's right. I'm taping the competition. Go back and study it. All right. Pretzels. Everybody's kind of loaded in. Looks to be, we got 6 or 7 UAS today. Where's my camera? My camera's here. Oh, there. Got it. Pro tip: if you're going to film with your phone, look at the camera and at it yourself. It looks weird. Here we go. The UAS guys loading in the back lot here. Got long hair. Joel. I like to record people. There's these people. I'm vlogging, people. I'm vlogging. There's my measly little setup here. Sean Piquet, Ron, and Jordal. Hello! Got Dan Guild stuff here, and then the Peases. I believe Mrs. Kelsey is piloting this beast tonight. She's going to be fast. I know she is. Nice. Drivers meeting upcoming here. Got some rain showers. Track's still looking really good. Doing very good with this vloggy type stuff. So practice track is pretty darn slick. Actually played with some flex. That looks like crap. Played with some flex and try and get this thing to pull into the corner a little better. It was all right. Actually backing up the corner got me through it a little better. Hopefully you've seen that footage. Look at that. I give you instructions not to do it, and I'm doing it myself because I got to remember that is my camera. But yeah, so far so good. I really like this track. More so, I'm not concerned about points. Winning would be great. Everybody here is here to win, but I just want to have a good time, come back in one piece. So heat race is up next. Okay, had to do tires and get the cart ready for the feature, but ended up second. Caroline took it, big old GM on Champion Performance Chassis. They're local here, no excuses. But Kelsey Pease, as you saw, almost lost it off track there, and luckily she saved it. She was running really good. I could hear her back behind me. I had a little bit of motor. I think she was handling a little better than me. No grip in 1 and 2. Kind of went to what I know here, and just wiped the snot out of some tires. And I'm competitive. I want to win like anybody does, but honestly, coming home in one piece, like I said before, getting some quarter points here is more important to me. Keeping my piece in one piece, my cart in one piece. Everything's engine's been behaving good, running decent lap times. So we'll see. Feature coming up here shortly. Well, let's see how this is going to go. Had a light malfunction in 1 and 2. It sounds like we're going to go race, but we're going to go out and pace around on the surface to see if it's okay for us to be safe enough to race. I don't know. We'll see. I'm good either or. So we'll see how this goes. I guess because I forgot to shoot a video as we finished off the feature, I will give you the car ride home. And hopefully I don't smoke a deer while I'm at it. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Anyway, so I ended up, I qualified second, as you saw, or in my heat race second, which put me third in the feature. Off the get, we went down into 3 and 4 in the first lap, and Joel got in there nice and hot, and I was obviously not just going to give it to him. I gave him the bottom, but I wasn't just going to give him the position, and unfortunately he slid up a little bit, got into me, got me sideways, but it was one of those cases where he was able to hit my nose just right, and we straightened back out and went. Unfortunately for us, Stan Caroline Jr. and Kelsey Pease just took off. They were gone like so fast. It's like I didn't even realize how fast they were until, because I was doing battle with Joel. I mean, he got out there. He's got a pretty good 450 package going there. I started to reel him in after a little bit, and then as I'm working on him to get back to third, I realized that I have no idea where Caroline and Pease are. I'm just kind of glancing up ahead. I was like, whoa, where'd they go? They were on a freaking rail, man. They were gone. I think that afterwards, we all come off track, and I think he said that I gave him my lap time. I think he was almost a second faster than I was. I didn't get Kelsey's time, but she had to have been hauling the mail as well. I did pretty good again. Kelsey was in my heat, and I beat her in the heat. But man, the whatever Kyle did to the tires really worked. The setup on the Kart, that CR 250, it's got a divorce tranny on it that Motorworks built, Kyle built. Super fast, super light and super fast. It was quite impressive. Caroline lapped up to second. The only person he didn't lap was Kelsey. And I don't know how she ended up getting around me with just a handful of laps left. But, it's I missed on tires a little bit. I've tried to run my old tires again. I got to stop doing that. But they're like they're like home to me. They've worked in a time or two, and then they've bit me a time or two. I really should probably stop doing that. But anyway, had an absolute blast. Green to checkered, 25 laps, 0 cautions. I unfortunately, as I was coming around, so we had quite a heated battle there. I got back by Joel, and I kept on hearing a 4-stroke. I didn't know if it was Joel, or I knew Brandon Oldham was back there somewhere behind me. Also, Dan Guild was back there, and there was a 4-stroke behind me, and I could hear it. I just didn't know, I was keeping them at bay, and as we came up, my friends Jordal and O'Neill were coming up to lap them, or I was, and Jordal kind of made way, got out of the way, and but he had been doing battle with O'Neill, so afterwards I talked to Ron a little bit, and he says he was having trouble seeing, like he couldn't get his tear off, and he had some water in his vision, or on his helmet, and he was doing his best, to hold his line. But I came up on him, and it would have been fine, but I saw Oldham's nose, so I didn't panic, but it made me press the issue. I gave him a little bump from the rear. I tucked down underneath and kind of side panel smacked him as I came by. I needed to make room for the next turn, so I tuck him up a little bit. All's fair in love and war. I wouldn't complain on that maneuver if Ron had done it to me, and we're friends. He did come off and say to Sean Piquet that he's just like, all right, Ben, pass me awfully aggressively, and Sean had said something. He's just like, well, Oldham was shoved up his behind, and he was trying to go, and he felt the pressure. So I made a not a dive bomby move, but I definitely made a super aggressive move to get by Ron in order to clear that. And then apparently, we'll see how it turned out, or you'll have seen it already because this will be after that. I turned the GoPro around, so if apparently Oldham was just sending it behind me, trying to make something work where he could get by me. I was being very patient with the cart. It would enter really well. I could get down to the bottom, and that's just it. If I was losing drive off the corner, so the only way to keep it underneath me, the rear end, keep the tires underneath me, was to kind of wrap the bottom, which I know was a little slow. I would have rather not use that much brake, but I could get just a ginormous drive off the turn. Unfortunately, that drive in the beginning is what heated up my tires and killed my drive at the end. Definitely was a Burris kind of night. I'm not quite sure what Stan was on, or Caroline was on. I think he went to Burris for the feature. Blairsville is a track where you can run multiple tires. I will say that probably Burris are the fastest of the bunch, but you can run yellows and you can run maxes depending on the type of surface you get. I've been there where it's been super wet and Vegas have worked really well. It's been a little bit drier, picked up a little bit of a black line. Burris are better there for that. So all in all, my return to UAS racing went really well. I mean, I didn't really leave, but I only raced like twice last year, and it wasn't for points. But this was a quarter point race. I'll take a third all day long, man. I don't care about points this year. I am for the love of the game, for the love of the sport, for the love of racing. Mark would have been absolutely proud of the race that we put on, the clean race that we put on. Everybody did an absolute stellar job of no cautions, nobody getting out of sorts, nobody roughing up anybody, maybe me a little bit, but it was aggressive, it wasn't dirty, but I think Mark was definitely smiling down from heaven, knowing that we put on a show. The track promoter or the track flagman came over and shook our hands. Steve was super happy with our performance. You gotta love that when you can show up to a race and race against your competitors and be as clean as possible. Rubbin's racing, but be as clean as possible. Nobody took anybody out. Oh, here's the other thing. I probably mentioned it. I can't remember what I said before, but the lights had gone out in 1 and 2. The track lights went out in 1 and 2, so they actually parked cars with their lights pointing to the track. Was it ideal? No. Could we see? Yes, we could. I have raced on darker tracks before. They're perfectly manageable. Just a sticky situation. We handled it. Steve Truitt came around, talked to all us UAS guys and said, hey, is it a go? Is it not a go? Rip around there a little bit. Tell me what you think, thumbs up, whatever. And apparently everybody was fine with it. I was fine with it. I mean, I don't see that great at night, but I was perfectly fine with it. The amount of sight I had, just wish I had gotten the tires a little better. But I'll take a third. Like I said, great racing. Everybody had I think a really good time. Nobody was out of sorts afterwards. Got to see Longhair. Erskine came out. I think it's saying this last name right. That's what I call him anyway. Longhair. Really cool to see him sit outside pole, but he definitely made a poor tire choice. I saw him slipping and sliding pretty bad. It happens, man. You make your decision, and you go with it. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's okay. Mine was okay. It wasn't great, but definitely had a blast night. And I hope you enjoyed the racing. I hope you enjoyed the experience. I hope the film came out okay. When I go to put this together for next week, I hope that all the Insta came out and all that stuff, but you'll have already seen that. So if it did, cool. If not, I'll try again. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. This was a lot of fun. I'm still working on this vlog thing. Working on being able to talk. This is no problem. Being in my truck, being in the barn, talking to the camera, not a problem whatsoever. Actually filming myself, remembering to film myself and talk about what's going on at track, a little more difficult, but I'll get the hang of it. I will get it. You'll see more of these along the line. But all right, guys, I had a lot of fun. Catch you guys later. Bye.